Hello, wrestling fans. This is Sal Rough Cuts LaSardo reporting in from Claremont, Florida, with this week's edition of Rough Cuts as I preview Extreme Rules taking place this Sunday only on the WWE Network. These are my opinions only. They have nothing to do with OneWrestling.com, Bill After, or the WWE. So as of Friday, early evening, I'm doing this prior to SmackDown, so I'm going to basically what we know as of right now. I'm sure things can change once SmackDown gets underway and may even change up to the show. But I'm going to go right into the picks and my thoughts on the show. Uh, the United States Championship, Apollo Crews versus MVP. Apollo Crews is the current champion going in. I have a feeling I have a feeling that MVP might take this title. I know it's kind of iffy here. Or why take it from Cruz? Well, MVP is building a stable and managing and doing things. He's more relevant now that he's back. I don't think he's done wrestling entirely, especially being faced with Apollo Cruz and the new title. I could see the belt being taken off Apollo Crews, and I could see MVP walking out with the title heading into SummerSlam. So I'm going to go on a limb here. Maybe a stretch. I mean, not too much change as far as titles and things can happen during a show like this, but I think if the one title that may truly change it would be MVP taking the title from Apollo Crews. And I'm going to go out. I'm going to say that Apollo Crews is going to lose to MVP. MVP is going to walk out with the championship. We have an eye for an eye match: Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio, and this obviously has the makes to be. A lot of this card has the makes to be a lot of cinematic stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what's cinematic and what's not cinematic. But this, I know a lot of people think an eye for an eye. What could they do? And all the possibilities. I Ray is coming towards the end of the line here as far as his career is concerned. And Seth is going to be leaving in November, early December, with Becky for paternity leave. So how does this play out here? It is an eye for an eye. Whatever they're going to do into the steel steps or something, the dramatics. I mean, this movie magic is what I think is going to play a role in this. So let's just take it for a grain of salt. No one's physically going to lose an actual eyeball in this, but there'll be this cinematic movie magic type thing in this. I, what I think's going to happen is that Ray is going to get his revenge on Seth. Ray is going to get his revenge per se on Seth Rollins and win the match. But something tells me, gut wise, that Dominic is going to turn on his father, and that's what I think is going to happen. Ray's winding down. He wanted to work with his son. I have a feeling that although Ray may get Rollins, the revenge factor, Dominic, his son, is going to have a say in this, and I have a feeling that this is where we're going to see Dominic turn on Ray. And even though Seth may lose the match, he's going to win what he wanted, which is to groom Dominic. If you look at it from a non-storyline perspective, with Ray leaving, Seth Rollins would be a good fit with Dominic, and you have Buddy Murphy, that sort of contingent. That will be able to get Dominic to move right along. So that's what I'm going to tell you. I think is going to happen. Ray will somehow get through Rollins, but I think Dominic is going to have a further say in the outcome where Dominic's going to turn on his father when it's all said and done with. And even though Rollins may not have an eye or some kind of thing, Rollins is still going to gloat the fact that he got what he wanted, which was to have Dominic turn on his dad. So that's what I think. I think Ray wins, but Dominic turns on his father. We have the SmackDown's Women's Championship, Bayley versus Nikki Cross. I don't know what they're going to do as far as an Extreme Rules in this. I guess we'll wait for SmackDown. I could see it like maybe like a ladders match or maybe a tables match or something. That the way things are going, really, Bailey and Sasha, they have all the gold almost. So I don't see Nikki getting the belt here. I don't see it happening at all. Bailey will still hold on and do her thing. Alexa Bliss may try to help Nikki, possible, and may end up costing Nikki the match, which I would like to see. I would like to see that. I would like to see Alexa Bliss try to help her friend, but inadvertently something goes wrong and Nikki gets pinned, but Nikki's all upset and Alexa's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to help you." And then maybe Nikki is the one that becomes the heel, and Alexa has this massive baby face run. That would be really, really exciting. I like to see that happen. I really would. Uh, have Alexa have the monster baby face run without Nikki and Nikki be the heel. And I think Alexa and Nikki can have a heck some really, fine matches together. But as far as this is concerned, Bailey's going to retain. Even if it's a ladders match or a tables match, Bailey is going to retain here. The question will be is Alexa going to do something? Is Sasha going to do something? Will there be some interference? I don't think there'll be outside interference in all these matches, but it kind of has it. Because you have Sasha with Bailey and Alexa with Nikki, so we can have some commotion. But at the end of the day, Bailey is still going to win. Bailey is still going to be your champion. The way things are playing out, it's Doss Bailey, or whatever you want to call it. Bailey is not going to lose this match. The Raw Women's Championship, Osaka and Sasha Banks. Now the big question is Sasha gonna have the women's title and Bailey and Sasha are gonna have all the gold? No, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen tonight on Sunday. They may end up waiting. I think there's a rematch with these two at SummerSlam. And I think that's when we can see the twofoldness. So Osaka's going to retain, maybe by a disqualification, a count, or some kind of bizarre, but it's not going to have a full finish. It's going to be where Sasha's going to want a rematch at SummerSlam. And that's what it's going to be. I haven't heard of any stipulations for this match, so I'm going to go with that this is going to be a no finish between these two, but there'll be a rematch at SummerSlam. And maybe at that point, Sasha may actually get the belt. I thought they'll wait for SummerSlam. And is it a good idea? A lot of people have been asking me, is it a good idea? I mean, is it right for Bailey and Sasha to hold both women's titles and the tag titles? It depends on where you go with this. If you are leaning towards the fact that you're going to do this with setting up that they're going to lose the titles to somebody, and then it's going to be Bailey and Sasha title for title and unify the women's championship at some point, I'm all for it. If there's a bigger payoff, maybe like at WrestleMania, where Sasha does get the belt, and then it's Bailey and Sasha, and they unify the belt after they lose the tag titles, I could see that happening. And then maybe one of the belts gets surrendered. I could see that happening. And that would be the payoff that I would like to see. But they would have to lose the tag titles first. And that's not happening yet. So as far as this match, again, I don't see a clean finish. I don't see it being a finish. Disqualification, no count out. It's not going to have a finish. Sasha will come out on Monday and do her thing and Bailey and demand a rematch, and they'll have a rematch at SummerSlam, and that that's where I think we're heading with this, because Charlotte's on the shelf right now, so we don't know who her next opponent would be. So I think it'll be a rematch with Sasha after this no finish. The Swamp Fight, Braun Strowman against Bray Wyatt. This is another one that's going to go to SummerSlam as well. I don't know what a Swamp Fight's going to be. I have no idea what they're going to do with this. This is all going to be movie magic. What I do think is going to happen is that Braun will end up defending against The Fiend, Bray's alter ego, at SummerSlam. And I think that's when Bray gets the belt, or The Fiend gets the belt, whatever you want to call it. That's when he gets it. That's going to be my prediction. I think Braun will somehow get through this, but he's still going to have to contend with the Fiend, Bray's alter ego, and that's when at SummerSlam Braun is going to lose the title. Yes, Braun will lose it. My prediction is Braun's going to lose it at SummerSlam, not in this. What kind of a match are we going to get in a swamp fight? I have no idea what we're going to get. Are they going to? We're in Florida. They could probably go wrestle in the Everglades with all the pythons and alligators for all we know. Movie magic will make it good. I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with it. No doubt about it. I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to do. But again, let's be realistic about it. They're still got to build for SummerSlam. So this is the step towards SummerSlam. And that's when Bray Fiend will get the belt. So Braun will come out of it somehow. And we'll get our rematch then. Drew McIntyre is taking on Dolph Ziggler for the title. I'm not sure again what kind of stipulation. It could be a ladders, tables match. Drew's not losing here. No way. Impossible. Although, never say never. But no, he's not going to lose here. I believe, and what I've been reading online is that Randy Orton is next in line for it. So, and that will be a really good match. Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, against Drew McIntyre. I really think they will have a heck of a match. They get 4 weeks of solid to build on it. Yeah. So Dolph's going to go down fighting, and Drew is going to show his superiority and do his thing and walk away. So, yes, I do agree, I think, with the majority that, yes, Drew's not losing. Now he'll face Randy at SummerSlam, and we'll see what kind of build we're going to get, and I think he'll put on a heck of a match for that. Overall, we don't know what else is going to be on the card. That's the whole thing as of right now. We basically have these titles. There'll be some additional matches. People ask me, what do you want to see? What do I want to see going forward? What do you want to really see? I want to see Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott team up when Liv comes back and go after Sasha and Bayley and take the Women's Tag Team Championship. That's what I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see Liv and Ruby now get some relevancy. I want to see them back in the scene. I was also happy to see Shayna Baszler back. She's back now, and whether or not what the deal is with Vince and let me just say this, I'm glad to see her back. I want to see her and Osaka going. I don't want to see Sasha take the title from Osaka. I want to see Baszler take it. If Osaka's going to lose, I want to see Osaka and Baszler at SummerSlam. There's no reason for this to play out with Bayley and Sasha having all the women's gold. I'm not for it. I want to see Shayna Baszler go after Osaka at SummerSlam and take that. That's what I want to see the next opponent. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I want to see. I think we all want to see it. I'm glad to see that she's back on television. I'm glad to see that she's doing something, and I want to see now let her be herself. She looked great in the Elimination Chamber, then obviously fell off the radar with the Money in the Bank. Now she's back on TV. Let's get her going. I think her and Osaka can have a great match. Sasha doesn't need to beat Osaka to have the title. What needs to happen to get that fuel going with those two is that Sasha gets really jealous that she can't get the women's championship and she's going to turn on her friend. Why? Because they're going to lose the tag team titles at some point to somebody, and that's going to create the rift. That's what I want to see, and I think everybody wants to see that. So that's my opinion on it. So that's what I'm hoping for. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Shayna Baszler be Osaka's next opponent. I want to see Liv and Ruby team up and go after the belts and go through the competition as well. Overall, I think it's going to be a lot of movie magic, a lot of cinematic and some stuff. But let's just sit back. It's basically like hard. So it's going to be. It's not going to be cages and we're going to see some extreme stuff. But again, Sunday night we're in an epidemic. Let's go with it. Let's enjoy it. Let's sit back. Let's hope that we can get some ideas going forward for SummerSlam. And that's what I want to see. And again, I think the only true title that will change hands will be that MVP beats Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. I think it's the only title that changes hands. Everything else will just be exciting and will leave us going into SummerSlam. So that's my prediction. I think it'll be a B minus type of card. A B minus. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say 3 stars out of 5, 3.25 stars out of 5. That's my prediction for the show. Okay. Your feedback is greatly welcome. Your comments are greatly welcome. I'm also on Twitter at @LaSardo. Check me out there as well. And for this edition of Rough Cuts, this has been Sal LaSardo reporting in with the Extreme Rules edition. May all your matches be a main event. Have a great weekend and enjoy the show, everybody.